Mrs. Alvarez had noticed something peculiar about Mono's behavior lately. Every now and then, he would stare her dead in the eye with an unblinking intensity, and then, out of nowhere, take a poo right by the kitchen door. Confused and a bit amused, she finally decided to ask him. One morning, while sipping her coffee, she turned to Mono with a puzzled expression. "Mono, honey, I have to ask, why do you sometimes look me straight in the eye and then, without any warning, poop by the kitchen door? I mean, what's going on in that head of yours?" Mono, laying on the couch with a contented sigh, perked up and looked at her, as if he had been expecting this question. With a dramatic flair, he sat up, his expression serious but with a mischievous glint in his eyes. "Ah, Mrs. Alvarez," he began. "I knew this moment would come. You see, it's all part of a grand cosmic design." Mrs. Alvarez raised an eyebrow, clearly confused but entertained. "A grand cosmic? What now?" Mono continued, his tone full of exaggerated wisdom. "You see, the gaze, the intense, unbreakable eye contact, is my way of establishing a connection, a soul link, if you will. It's like I'm saying, Mrs. Alvarez, witness me in my most primal, unfiltered state." She blinked, completely lost but giggling. "Primal, huh? Oh, absolutely. In that moment, I'm reminding you of the simple truths of life. Life is messy, unpredictable, and sometimes it happens right at your kitchen door. My poo is a metaphor, you see. It represents the unexpected challenges that the universe throws at us." Mrs. Alvarez was now full-on laughing, shaking her head. "That's a lot of philosophy for one little poo, Mono." But Mono wasn't done. But it doesn't stop there. The kitchen door specifically? Symbolic. It's the threshold of nourishment, of sustenance. By doing my business there, I'm challenging the norms. I'm saying, why must the sacred act of nourishment only happen within and not be balanced by release? It's all about balance, Mrs. Alvarez. Yin and yang. Eating and, well, you know. Mrs. Alvarez wiped away tears of laughter. "Mono, you're something else, but that's a pretty ridiculous explanation." Mono nodded solemnly. "I know, but it's true. On a deeper level, it's all about communication. When I lock eyes with you, I'm saying, you're my person, you get me. And maybe I do it because I know you'll clean it up. And in a way, that's your role in this great cosmic dance." Mrs. Alvarez, trying to catch her breath between laughs, managed to say, Okay, but is there a real reason behind it?" Mono shrugged, grinning now. "Honestly, sometimes I just forget I'm supposed to go outside. But everything else I said totally stands." Mrs. Alvarez laughed so hard she had to set down her coffee. "Mono, you're a philosopher and a rascal all at once." Mono wagged his tail, clearly proud of himself. "That's the duality of existence, Mrs. Alvarez. Sometimes it's deep, and sometimes it's just a bit of poop by the kitchen door." And with that, the mystery was solved, or at least as much as it could be when it came to Mono's unique blend of wisdom and mischief.